When it comes to paranormal stories, few are as unsettling as The Haunting of Room 1408. This story, which has inspired both fictional adaptations and real-life investigations, stands out as one of the most eerie and mysterious accounts of supernatural activity in modern times. Room 1408, a seemingly ordinary hotel room, has earned a reputation for being anything but normal. Its story is not just a tale of ghostly sightings or unexplained noises. It's a harrowing account of psychological torment, inexplicable events, and the enduring question of what lies beyond the veil of the living. The origin of Room 1408. The history of Room 1408 is steeped in mystery and tragedy. The room is located in the Dolphin Hotel, an old establishment with a long and storied past. Built in the early 20th century, the hotel was once a luxurious destination for travelers and tourists. However, as the years passed, the hotel fell into disrepair, and its once glamorous reputation began to fade. The room itself, 1408, was never particularly noteworthy until a series of strange occurrences began to plague those who stayed there. Guests reported a variety of unsettling experiences, ranging from sudden temperature drops to the feeling of being watched. Over time, the room gained a reputation for being cursed or haunted, and it became a subject of fascination for paranormal enthusiasts. The first documented case of something truly disturbing happening in Room 1408 dates back to the 1950s. A businessman, known only as Mr. Grady, checked into the room for what was supposed to be a routine overnight stay. The next morning, hotel staff found him dead in his bed, having apparently taken his own life. There was no suicide note, no signs of struggle, and no explanation for why a seemingly successful man would choose to end his life so suddenly. This incident was just the beginning. Over the next few decades, a series of tragic events unfolded within the walls of Room 1408. Guests who stayed in the room were found dead under mysterious circumstances, often in ways that defied logical explanation. Some were discovered with expressions of sheer terror on their faces, as if they had been frightened to death. Others seemed to have taken their own lives in fits of madness or despair. Each death added to the room's growing legend, and soon, no one wanted to stay in Room 1408. The paranormal activity. The paranormal activity in Room 1408 is unlike anything typically reported in haunted locations. While many haunted sites are known for cold spots, strange noises, or the occasional apparition, Room 1408 seems to have a life of its own. The room's atmosphere is often described as oppressive, as if something malevolent is constantly watching. Visitors have reported feeling an overwhelming sense of dread as soon as they enter the room, with some even claiming that they could hear faint whispers coming from the walls. One of the most commonly reported phenomena in Room 1408 is the malfunctioning of electronic devices. Radios, televisions, and even cell phones have been known to turn on and off by themselves, often playing distorted or eerie sounds. Clocks in the room seem to move at their own pace, sometimes speeding up or slowing down without any explanation. Lights flicker unpredictably, casting strange shadows that seem to move on their own. Temperature fluctuations are another frequent occurrence. Guests have described feeling sudden drops in temperature, as if a cold breeze had swept through the room. In some cases, the temperature changes are so extreme that condensation forms on the windows and mirrors, despite the room being sealed from outside air. This phenomenon is often accompanied by a feeling of intense fear or unease, as if the room itself is reacting to the presence of the occupants. Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of Room 1408 is the psychological effect it has on those who stay there. Many guests have reported experiencing vivid and terrifying hallucinations while in the room. These hallucinations often involve seeing figures or faces in mirrors, shadows that move independently of any light source, or even hearing voices that seem to come from within their own minds. Some have described feeling as though they were being physically touched or pushed by an unseen force. One particularly harrowing account comes from a guest who stayed in Room 1408 in the 1970s. This individual, who had no prior history of mental illness, reported experiencing a complete mental breakdown after just one night in the room. They claimed to have seen horrific visions of their own death, as well as the deaths of loved ones, all while being unable to leave the room. When hotel staff finally managed to get into the room, they found the guest in a catatonic state, unable to speak or respond. It took months of therapy and medication for them to recover from the experience, and even then, they were never quite the same. Investigations and theories. Given the room's dark reputation, It was only a matter of time before paranormal investigators were drawn to room 1408. Over the years, numerous teams have conducted investigations in an attempt to uncover the truth behind the haunting. However, despite their best efforts, no conclusive evidence has ever been found to explain the phenomena. Some investigators believe that the haunting of room 1408 is the result of a residual haunting, where traumatic events have imprinted themselves on the environment, causing the room to replay these events like a recording. Others theorize that the room is home to a particularly malevolent spirit, perhaps one of the many people who died there under mysterious circumstances. This spirit, they argue, is responsible for the terrifying experiences of those who stay in the room. Skeptics, of course, have their own explanations. They suggest that the strange occurrences in room 1408 are the result of psychological factors, such as the power of suggestion or mass hysteria. According to this theory, guests who are aware of the room's reputation are more likely to experience fear and anxiety, which in turn causes them to misinterpret normal events as paranormal. The malfunctioning electronics and temperature fluctuations, they argue, could be explained by faulty wiring or poor insulation in the old hotel building. Despite these rational explanations, the legend of room 1408 persists. The room's notoriety has only grown over the years, thanks in part to its portrayal in popular culture. Stephen King's short story, 1408, which was later adapted into a film, brought the tale to a wider audience, cementing its place in the annals of paranormal lore. However, it's important to note that King's story, while inspired by real events, is a work of fiction. The true story of room 1408 remains shrouded in mystery, with many questions still unanswered. A mystery unsolved. The haunting of room 1408 is a story that continues to captivate and terrify those who hear it. Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, there's no denying the eerie atmosphere that surrounds this infamous hotel room. The unexplained deaths, the strange phenomena, and the psychological torment experienced by those who have stayed in the room all contribute to its enduring legend. For some, room 1408 is a reminder that there are things in this world that cannot be easily explained or understood. It's a place where the line between reality and the supernatural becomes blurred, where the normal rules of time and space seem to break down. Whether it's the result of a malevolent spirit, a residual haunting, or simply the power of suggestion, one thing is certain: room 1408 is not a place for the faint of heart. Thanks for watching.